Hi, greetings everyone. We are starting off here with an introduction lecture, an introductory induction lecture of CP1, which is the actuarial practice subject. So, first thing I would like to congratulate you all for clearing all your initial basic CT series papers. I know it has been a tough journey till now, and as we all know, the journey does not end here. There are many more papers to go, and CP1 is the core main paper in the post the CP series. CP1 acts as a main paper. It will help you give the biggest job promotion or your salary hike at whichever place you are working on. And looking at the other papers as well, this is the base for all your SP or FA papers. Even does not consider whether you are planning to go into insurance, general insurance, pensions, risk management, investment. CP1 is a collective paper of all the five six areas which actuaries generally go into. So it's a base for your SPSA papers, and it's regarded as the most toughest paper with very less passing ratios. But yeah, as the quote below says, nothing is particularly hard if it is broken down into smaller and easier jobs. Nothing is hard if we plan it, if we break it down into smaller targets, if we achieve it, if we stay ahead of all the other people, then even the most difficult papers can be cleared in one go. So, continuing, I'll just give some brief about myself first. So, my full name is Sunny Savla. I am a bachelor's in financial markets from HR College of Commerce and Economics. I'm a qualified FRM. I have cleared both levels of FRM. The charter is definitely pending, but I have cleared both levels of FRM and have cleared 12 actuarial papers. So this 12 is according to the 15 paper portion. According to the 13 paper portion, which is post 2019, I'm done with 10 papers and basically left with three of those. Uh, or even I have appeared two in this September attempt, and I'll be getting an exemption of the SP0 paper because of my FRM. So that is basically my qualifications that I have achieved till date. I'm currently working as a consultant at Deloitte India in the risk advisory division, having experience and expertise in market risk, credit risk, liquidity, and other financial risk management. I tend to work with Indian and foreign banks as my clients, as Deloitte's clients. Yeah. And along with Actuarial Academy, I teach the following subjects, which is CB1, CB2, and CP1. As you can see from the list of me teaching subjects, it's all theory subjects. So doesn't mean my maths is a weak. It's not that case. I love maths. We all actually love maths. But yeah, I focus on more theoretical, conceptual ideas and opinion-based subjects. And I have been teaching CV2 since the last 6 months. And you can see the reviews on our website and even on our LinkedIn and Instagram accounts. So this is a brief introduction about me. If anyone else wants to know a little bit more about myself, then you can surely reach out to me at the contact number provided below. I can assist you in any ways possible. For CP1, our official batches would be starting October 15th. From October 15th, our portion will begin. The whole timetable and everything is planned for the next April attempt from October 15th onwards. But don't worry if you are watching this video a bit late, or let's say if you are starting a bit late, it's not an issue. I'll personally ensure that you are soon back on track with everyone else who have started on October 15th. So this is the core reading of CP1 material. So when we say about CP1, what exactly do we have to read and what exactly does the whole learning area or by study materials, what all things we have to refer. So first thing would definitely be CP1 course notes. The course notes is of 1500 pages, 1500 pages PDF. Don't get stressed looking at the page numbers. It's not a big deal, but yeah, compared to the past papers, past levels, and past exams. It's a bit lengthy paper. It's a bit lengthy PDF as well. So course notes would definitely act as your Bible. Course notes, revision notes would include all your past papers, past questions. One thing to note here is in course notes and revision notes, there would be differences. The questions asked in the past papers won't exactly be the same as the pattern there in the CP1 course notes. That's the main, difficult nut to crack in CP1. In other papers like CM2, CS2, CS1, you have chapters, you have chapter-based formulae and everything, and questions are more or less, linked to that. Here, it won't be that easy, and questions can come a little bit outside the portion of your book as well. So, yeah, but don't worry, the whole plan, the introduction would cover how we would approach to this level. We would also provide you flashcards. So flashcards are again based on the course notes itself. They are a shorter and a summarized version of the whole course notes, which will enable you to break this whole 1500 page into various short sections, summaries. You can basically recollect and you can know कि every chapter में क्या क्या content है, क्या क्या areas are covered by each chapter, because there are 38 chapter in total, and after some time at the point of revising it becomes difficult that what all parts are being covered in each chapter. So flashcards, again, these three materials that I have mentioned out here, 1, 2 and 3 are provided by Acted, but yeah, we will provide you from our end the same, but this is acted material. The last part, the study notes that I'm talking about, and which I'll just emphasize upon a little bit more, are provided specifically by the Actuarial Academy only. These are specific to us, prepared by us, handwritten, like hand typed, I would say, because they are in electronic format and PDF format. But yeah, made by us, that combines your course notes, your revision notes, your past papers, your X series, any other questions that we have come across while studying ourselves, even from IAI as well. So that includes almost all types of questions and basically pointers on all areas. I'll quickly switch to the this topic that I'm talking about, the notes, the study notes that we'll provide you. This is just a snippet. Like you can see, it's a 404-page study notes. There are short questions for each chapter. Let's say this is chapter number 3. Chapter 3, mein this is a part, and there are pointers basically. So this would ascertain you even in exam. You can just see this is a heading, this is a question, and question it is divided into subparts. So this will help you for easy reading. And even during exam conditions, you can simply refer to this, and this will help you give more and more points. This contains a combined version of your revision notes, of your course notes, of your practice questions, of your X series, of your A sets, of your flashcards. So it has all the points anyone can think of. There can be more points as well, but since CP1 is a whole paper with regards to ideas and opinion based questions, this will help you a lot, even in your exams, even while reading, because course notes may there can be 3 or 4 sections covering 3 or 4 areas. Here, based on past paper, let's say if there is some another type of question that has come in, so that too will be included in this study notes along with the relevant points as their answers, so you can read it and cover it all in your go. So like you would be making, some of the students generally make handwritten notes, some of the students make their own notes while studying. Here you don't have to do anything because everything would be readily available to you. That will save a lot of your time and effort. Surely, if you come up or if you can think of any new idea or new opinion to a particular answer or a question, you can add it. But like I'm mentioning, the additions would be very less, and the study notes that we would be sending is completely concise and includes as many areas and questions and answers and opinions as possible. Even during exams, you can control F this very quickly and reach to your answer rather than finding it from a 1500 page book. which is also does not cover everything. So this is the study notes that we would be sending you, and this is the whole reading material that we would follow overall throughout the CP1 course. Moving on to the syllabus. So this is the syllabus. Like I mentioned, there are 38 chapters in total, and I have broken down into separate sections. Definitely, I won't bore you with the names because looking at the names, it's very difficult to understand what the chapter contains. But any which ways, we have an expected date of completion column at the right, looking at the overall plan for each of the 38 chapters individually broken down, and that leading to a completion of the portion overall. So it's a chapter wise breakdown when which chapter would get completed and when accordingly the whole portion would get completed. Also, you can get an idea of which chapter will take, let's say, 2 days, or which another chapter will take 6 or 7 days, depending on the weightedness or the difficult heaviness of that chapter. Like 60 pages chapter has 70-page chapter, and in that case it will take 6 7 days. Or if it's a small chapter, it will take 2 days, 3 days max. So this is how the whole sections are divided. It includes section one as actuarial regulation, about the regulatory needs, financial products, customer needs, pensions and insurance, different pension products, different life insurance and general insurance products. We have asset markets like bonds, equities markets, other asset classes markets, behavior of the markets, and how different investments are being valued. That's section number three, or altogether, which includes your 5 chapters. Then it is about ALM and investments, how to choose an investment strategy, investment management, asset liability management. All these things will lead to covering your asset. Any area where we are looking at, we would be looking at from a pension company, from an insurance company, from a general insurance company, from a bank, and from any other manufacturing company, textile company, a small scale business that has been set up, infrastructure company, all those companies. So सारे ही companies या individuals के को factor करके we would be thinking of all these different, let's say, choosing an investment strategy. So for all these companies, all these individuals will see, will try to assess their needs, will try to assess what state they are in currently, and accordingly select and accordingly write different opinions on how their investment strategy should be. So these are the chapters in section number 4. Moving on to section 5, it includes bit of data, modeling, and setting assumptions. So modeling does not include any kind of calculation and computations. How would you model if any kind of a problem comes to you, any kind of insurance problem comes to you? How would you model? How would you set assumptions of a model? What would be the limitations of the model? How should the model be constructed, documented? All those things are mentioned in modeling data. Section 6 is pricing contracts. Again, pricing, say, don't think it's numerical or computation based. In CP1, no question till date has been a numerical based. Let's say number में answer आए. So numerical mathematical questions are completely not present in CP1. It's just a test of your theory, your thinking power, your ideas, and your opinions. So pricing contracts include mortality, morbidity, again, pensions and insurance companies. Expenses, expenses would include for all the companies, all the individuals. We will look at it. Contract design. Now, contract design is again a bigger chapter. So contract design will look at. So you can just see the 21 ka expected completion is 3rd of Jan, but 22 ka expected completion is 10th of Jan, giving us a 7 days for contract design. So that would involve how to design a new product. And that new product can be for any company. You can think for now insurance company ही है, but insurance company तुम्हारे सिर्फ book में रहेगा. In the course notes they'll talk about insurance company, but in exams the contract design might come for any company, even for a supermarket store. Supermarket wants to issue a new, let's say, scheme or a discount scheme, or want to get into a contract with a bank. How would you design it? What factors would you consider? There can be hundreds of opinions to frame that answer. We'll look at all those. That won't be an issue. Pricing and financing, again, that concludes section 5 and section 6. Now, section 7 and 8 are based on more towards risk management. How would you identify risk, identification, classification? How would you accept it? How would you transfer and mitigate risk? Now, this can again be done from individual perspective, firm's perspective, and by firms, it could include all kinds of companies, even FMCG company, oil and gas company, manufacturing, infra company, from government perspective as well. So all these perspectives we will look at while looking at the chapters. All these perspectives would definitely not be covered in the course notes, but they are present in my study notes, and we would surely be discussing those areas while I'll be explaining you these chapters in my sessions. We will be surely discussing those areas and pointers on those areas. Now, moving on to the last two sections, the section 9 and 10, which is provision and reporting and capital and surplus management. Again, these chapters, some provisions and valuation of liabilities are from financial companies' point of view, but capital management, surplus management, and monitoring, they can be done from any company point of view. And that's why exam made the scope is just wide, it's unlimited. They can literally ask monitoring or literally ask surplus management from any company point of view. They can from any case study. It can even be from a government perspective, bank perspective, insurance perspective. At that point of time, your job is to find more and more points related to that case. Let's say, why would a small startup, like let's say Cred, simple example, Cred, you might have heard of Cred and credit card company, credit card payments app. So why would it require surplus? Simple question framed by me at this point. Think of as many points as possible. So likewise, any they have even in the past when I was giving papers, they have created questions like companies who are involved in nursery. Child play group का ऐसा small company है जो child care type company है. They manage the children while parents are out to work वगैरह वगैरह. That is the whole project. Now इसमें find different risks and why would this company require surplus? कहाँ कहाँ पे वो surplus use करेगी? So now accordingly, you have to frame points with regards to that particular company or the venture. So it can come from any direction, anywhere, but you need to be thorough with your points and your ideas, and we will surely look at all the common points and common ideas which can be used for any company, any individual, everywhere. So those points would simply obtain from this notes that I would be sharing with you. It would be there for it would be used for all the companies as such. And for others, you can look according to the case, the case kya bol raha hai, that what the question is saying, accordingly frame answer respectively. So this is the whole syllabus of 38 chapters. And like you can see here, the expected completion date is 15th of March. Again, this is a bit conservative from my end. I am giving a liberty, but from my end, it would always be a target to complete the portion as early as possible. There might be some students who might be giving two papers together, and they might be requesting the paper portion should be completed by Jan and yeah, Feb midweek. That won't be an issue from my end. I would be prepared with my lectures, and like you can see, my notes and everything are already prepared before even starting the lectures. So I would be done with my end. If you are good enough, if you are ready to pick up that pace, you can complete it by Feb midweek as well, but this is an overall deadline for everyone in general. There are other people as well who would like to delay it because they would think that theory papers hai, and the more later you study theory, utna you have the concepts fresh in mind. So some people might be of the view of that they'll complete the portion, let's say 10-15 days before the exam only, so that all the concepts remain fresh in their hand, and they would be against of completing the portion in January, because if they complete the portion in January, they'll forget over the 2 months. So again, people are of different views, but as my role is to cater to both the views. I would be prepared with my recordings or with my mock test, chapter wise mock test, and my notes for all the chapters as early as possible. So even if whoever wants to complete their portion early, I can send those recordings, send those links, send those files to them early as well. and I can have personal doubt solving, even one on one. Even there are two people, I can have doubt solving with them individual as well if they are planning to complete the portion early. Whoever else who is planning to complete according to my timelines, we will have the sessions as usual, as normal. Even for some people who have delayed it, let's say because of their work or any other personal problems, that won't be an issue. We have 1 month buffer timeline. So again, even if you are not able to cater or cope up with these expected dates and expected timelines, and if you miss 10, 15 days, if you are lagging, so still you would have enough time before the exam. That's the basically flexibility from all the three ends. You can stay along with me, along with my expected schedule. You can stay ahead of me as well, and you can stay a little bit lagged to me as well. Still you would be in a good pace only. So the next slide says what makes CP1 different. So you might have given, some of you might have given CB1 and CB2 levels as well. So those are again theory levels, accounts and economic based. But see, in economics and accounts, there are some theories. There are, let's say, definitions. There are topics and areas and ideologies by economists and everything. There are concepts. So in that case, in those papers, almost 40 to 50% is based on your books, is based on your core readings, is based on your chapters. Now, these chapters, like I mentioned, like I shown you, are on a general level based. अभी मैं बोलूंगा capital management and surplus management. So that can be done for hundreds of companies, hundreds of individuals, and वो individual can be in a different position. Now that individual, let's say if I say कि middle class individual है, so उसका कैपिटल प्लानिंग सरप्लस प्लानिंग पूरा अलग रहेगा कंपेयर टू एन H9 इंडिविजुअल. Again, even in middle class, let's say if I say कि 21 की एज का middle class है, the planning, the pointers for that person would be different compared to, let's say, a 60-year-old person who is on the verge of retiring. So here there are more and more opinions and ideas demanded. That's the first thing, that it would be different from CB1 and CB2, where answers are a little bit concise. Examples, तुम बोल सकते हो microeconomics, macroeconomics, that does not change. इनके assumptions does not change. Theories does not change. Here, everything and anything can change depending on your question or the case given to you. So yes, now, core readings and past papers would always not suffice, but yeah, the more and more you practice, the more and more different questions you see, you will get a good enough framework of your mind, how to frame the answers and how to write your answers, even if a new question comes in. So, never ever would the question be similar on similar lines to a previous question. If you look at CM2, if you look at CS2, उसमें कैसा होता है, मार्को चेन पे क्वेश्चन है this year, last year also same question, almost on same terms, numbers अलग थे, CAPM पे question है. So they have specific formats, right? कि ऐसे format में CAPM, black shows, option pricing, they have a specific format in which the questions are asked in those earlier papers. Here there is no format as such. कि let's say you can say कि हाँ chapter 5 पे ऐसे type के questions आते हैं, you won't be able to find a trend basically. This type of questions come generally from this chapter, this type of questions come from that chapter, ये chapter का weightage कम है, ये chapter का weightage ज़्यादा है, that won't be possible in CP1. So that's why they are important, but they would not suffice. You would have to look at current affairs, current issues as well, current affairs like climate risk, current affairs like ESG, and all those things. Again, all these things we'll discuss in our classes as well. अभी क्या चल रहा है मार्केट में, वेरी हाई इन्फ्लेशन, इन दैट केस हाउ वुड यू टैकल इट. Simple example, I am an investor, there's an individual XYZ at the age of 30, he has this plan, but in the market there is this much of high inflation, his company is not increasing his salary hike or whatever. In this case, what should his investment strategy be? So again, this I just framed the case randomly on this spot, looking at the current market affairs. So you should be able to give the points, give the ideas accordingly. So a lot of questions can come on that as well. We'll look at many current affairs and solutions to those. उसके ऊपर we'll try and frame many questions and also try and see various points as well, which we can use it in our answers. so that if anything with regards to it comes, we have sufficient, we have seen it before and we can answer it in our exam. Here in CP1, typing speed and paper completion matters a lot. You have to continuously type, type, type. There is no equation editor, there is no numbers, it's just words, words, your main keypad, your number of words. So there is one way in which, after paper, people check ki how did your paper go. They don't ask the answer match hua ki nahi hua, because again, there are no numericals. They ask ki how many words did you write in the 3 hour 20-minute part. Generally what people discuss after paper is how many words you write. There are some people who would say I have written around 4k words, around 5k words, I have around 6k words. In my papers, in my recent attempt that I appeared, I wrote 6,300 words in my paper 1 and roughly around 6,100 words in my paper 2 in the 3 hour 20-minute phase. So what do we look at by number of words? Number of words ज़्यादा हुए मतलब there are many points in each answer. कि 8 marks के answer के लिए I ended up writing 20 points. So that is a good thing on my part. कि अगर 10 point wrong भी चलेगा तो भी बाकी के 10 में वो लोग सबको आधा आधा mark देंगे. Still I'll get 5 marks out of 8. So that is a good score. So that's how your paper ka excellence is decided. There is nothing to compare, right? After paper, you won't compare your answers because it's theory. Everyone's answers would be different. So people compare number of words. That's why typing speed is very important. And the more and more you're able to write, it would mean then more and more points you have written for each and every question, more and more content you have written, there are higher chances of you getting more marks. Like I mentioned, ideas and opinions can be hundreds. एक जन का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा, एग्जामिनर का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा, दूसरे एग्जामिनर का पर्सपेक्टिव अलग होगा. बट लेट्स से इफ यू हैव रिटन पॉइंट्स which are from both the perspectives, all the perspectives, दो तीन perspectives से सारे points if you have covered, then there is no one who can cut your marks. So that's why more number of words matter in this. Again, new case-based questions in every paper. In every paper that will come, there will be new questions, naya cases which you can't see it in the previous thing. There is a no trend or no paper pattern as such that generally they follow. That makes CP1 a bit tougher or a bit difficult to assess compared to the other CP series papers. But okay, I'm just stating the difficulties. Don't worry. Like I mentioned, proper planning, proper studying will ensure that you move ahead of all those difficulties. So yeah, continuing with the exam pattern, like I mentioned, 3 hour 20-minute paper. There are two papers for CP1, CP1 paper A, CP1 paper B, both of 100 marks, and there are equal weightages. CM2, CS2, CM1, CS1, there is a 70-30 weightage, right? 70 to the theory and 30 to the R. Your both paper are theory with 50-50% weightage. So now question is, what's the difference between paper 1 and paper 2 if both are theory? And there is no separate portion, no separate portion or no separate paper pattern for both the papers. Like our Excel kaisa hai, so likewise here it's not there. The same portion you have to study, the same book you have to study for both the papers. So paper one tests your conceptual knowledge to some extent, roughly 20-25 marks. जो कोर रीडिंग में है, जो मेरे बुक्स, जो स्टडी नोट्स which I'll share across, it will be there. Some questions would be a little bit more direct. Questions would be shorter, and there'll be roughly 8 to 12 questions, and they'll be divided into subparts. So they'll be shorter, they'll be quicker to understand 1 to 9 questions, and there'll be some case-based questions. That paper one, and study notes might be here useful in most of the cases. You can quickly see the question, quickly understand ki haan, this is from chapter number 28, and quickly move to my revision notes, quickly move to my study notes, and accordingly find points for that. So paper one may this would be helpful. Paper two is completely different. It's fully case study based, and case study based questions would be related to multiple chapters. अभी वो मैंने sections बताए थे. You remember sections? And some sections were like risk management. So there are 4 chapters. So some sections were with capital and surplus management. So there are 4 chapters. so they might be related and linked to multiple chapters together. एक सब पार्ट एक चैप्टर का है, दूसरा सब पार्ट पूरा ही सेपरेट चैप्टर के बारे में आ रहा है. So all those things would be there in paper number 2, and answers need to be framed according to the case. Cases can be half a page, sometimes even three-fourths of the page, sometimes even a full page. So full page, they'll explain a whole case and what is happening. Let's say XYZ company has in this position, they'll fully explain it, and based on it, they'll have 8 to 9 sub questions in each case. Like I mentioned, just two cases, two big cases. Assume for now 50-50 marks is जरूरी नहीं है 55-45 60-40 कुछ भी हो सकता है, but 50 marks के लिए almost a three-fourth page worth of case and 8 to 9 sub questions. Once done, another separate case, a whole new case, whole new company or whatever, not a company, individual, government, whatever, anything. A separate case with half page, again three-fourth page and 8 9 sub questions based on that. So your study notes might be useful depending on what how much you know. See, looking at the question, looking at the case, you need to quickly understand कि ये कौन सी area में है, कौन से chapter में है. If you are quickly to guess it, you might use the study notes here as well to some extent to get the point. But your points need to be not the general, need to be linked more and more to the actual case, actual company that they have talked about. Okay. So this is the exam pattern. This is how the whole two papers of CP1 go ahead of 100 marks each and of 50-50% weightage. Portion, there is no separate portion. दोनों के लिए the portion is same. Just the way of asking questions. Here there are 8 to 12 normal questions. हर एक question में 2 to 3 subparts, 2 to 3 subparts normally. How are CM1, CM2, normal CT series papers are there. हर एक में there are 7, 8, 10 questions. Every question has subparts normally. Here, paper 2 is different. It has two big cases, and each case has separate 8 9 sub questions. That's the exam pattern. Now, looking at our roadmap for this April exams, first thing, you are currently at an advantageous position. Why? Because you are giving an April attempt for CP1. So why I'm saying this is because April attempt has 6 months of your preparation. Let's say even if you start from October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, it will give you 6 months for your preparation compared to a September attempt. तो अगर तुम September attempt के लिए मई में start करते हो तो just May, June, July, August, 4 months. So September attempt has 4 months, but April attempt has 6 months, giving you 2 additional months for this very big CP1 subject. So that you are already in an advantageous position. You have an upper hand to complete the portion in a better way, to practice more, even with your job. So that shouldn't be an issue. Your exam dates are 21st April is paper A, matlab paper 1, and 24th April is paper B. You have 2 days of holiday, that is weekend. Paper A is on Friday and paper B is on Monday. So you have 2 days of holiday between those two papers. Now, looking at the papers, our expected portion completion date is 15th of March, almost roughly 1 month prior to our papers. That will give you how much time? How that will give you 1 month time to complete the mock test, to complete doubt solvings and any other issues, errors that you have. So we will be conducting chapter wise tests for each of these 38 chapters. So what would the chapter wise tests include? That is our main core competency. I will force you, not force you, but I'll just get back on you. I'll follow you up on each of these mock tests. I would ensure that you all give this mock test, and they are very important chapter wise because I'll be myself conducting these and framing questions based on my own knowledge, based on past papers, based on X series, or based on any other area. And those questions will be 2 3 or max 4 questions, a 1 hour test for each chapter, but that would be related to the chapter, but again, completely new questions which you haven't seen. So on that spot, in that 1 hour, it will give you, exam level feeling in exam level environment, how much points you can think of. And since वो chapter तुम्हारा just recently हुआ है, you have the study notes, you have everything, you have to type it on board. So even I would be able to see in that 1 hour how many words you are able to type. 1500 words होते हैं, 2000 words होते हैं initially, किसी के पास तो 700 800 words होंगे. Again, that will improve your speed. One thing, again and again test you in that exam scenario. Again and again you will come across completely new question which you have never seen in your life related to your chapter, and how much points you can think, that will test you. And after the end of each of these mock tests, we will all connect on a short Zoom call, discuss answers, have those group discussions and brainstorming sessions, which will ensure you that you can learn from everyone's ideas and opinions, everyone's points. You have written 6 points, some other person has written 8 points. So that there might be cases where your points might be completely different and his points might be completely different, but both of your answers are correct. So when he would speak about his 8 points, you will get completely new perspective, you will get ideas, you will learn from him, and even your 6 points might be helpful to him. This is how the group discussions and chapter-wise tests would ensure that you are going under your exams in exam-based scenarios, and your typing speed improves, your points thinking speed, that after every question you can think as many as points as possible, that for each chapter when you will do it, you will get into that zone properly. And after 15th March 23, we would be conducting three mock tests. Three mock tests would be conducted, given by me, prepared by me myself, and one or two would be coming from Acted. IFOA publishes their own mocks. We will buy it for you and we'll circulate it across so that you can attempt those IFOA mock tests as well. And I would definitely suggest you, depending on your time convenience, you solve as many past papers as possible post 15th March, and I would be there to check you, give you reviews, and accordingly mark you, and we can discuss the various doubts you might have after solving papers in the portion and the syllabus, anything. So after 15th of March, such doubt solving sessions, mocks, mock test results, and all those things would be conducted. So you have enough time to improve from your mistakes as well. This is your whole roadmap for the April 2023 attempt. So like I mentioned, chapter wise mocks ke baad there will be such 15 minutes, 30 minutes brainstorming session, just brainstorming sessions. So in that case, we will include more ideas on a single project, on a single topic. So this will ensure that, like I mentioned recently, if even if the batch, even if my batch has 3 students, 4 students, see, CP1 is a subject which everyone prefers to study on their own. This batch, which that will be starting October 15th, that will have a bit lesser students. After results post December, there will be some more additions. Some will come in November. So there will be students up and overall. But even if there are 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 students, how much ever the number may be, it will help you. These sessions will help you get more ideas on a single topic, on a single question, even ideas from my end as well. While framing a question simply, I might have thought of it now. I might have thought of a specific answer. I might have thought of a specific set of points that I'll include, right? But when I check your papers, you have included completely different set of points, which are again right. So we'll discuss those, we'll exchange those ideas among students from my end to the students as well. So that will have you with a lot more ideas and a wide perspective for all the parts. Again, covering a wide range of thought processes and approaches to answer a question, how to answer it point wise, paragraph wise, and write advantages, disadvantages. Some questions might be a bit tricky, so you have to give a diplomatic answer, not completely agree nor completely disagree. So, how to approach a particular question, discuss pointers on current issues and trends, like I mentioned, climate risk, hone do, current inflation problem, hone do, all those things will discuss pointers on various things in this group discussion sections, and there can be case specific examples as well. So when 3 or 4 or 5 minds collaborate, you might have been working, चार जन के ideas जब मिलते हैं, so it comes up with a completely new perspective. Even if you look at examiner's report for a 4 mark question, examiner's report will have sometimes 20 to 30 points. right? See, no one requires 4 marks के लिए. If you write 8 points, 8 correct point, 100% correct point, you will get half a mark for each point, and 8 में से तुम्हें 4 marks मिल जाएंगे. But examiner's report will have 20 to 30 points just to state that there can be various ideas and various solutions to one particular case or one particular problem. And ये 20-30 में से तुमने कुछ भी लिखा है, तुम्हें half mark, whatever, yeah, एकदम, it's a very heavy point, a very important point, then 1 mark to a point. And if it's a lesser important point, a smaller point, then half a mark to each point. So basically, just to say that every question can have so many possible ideas and pointers, and that you can discuss through this brainstorming sessions that you would be having. Again, all these would be conducted on weekends only and at everyone's convenience. If everyone is able to attend, definitely this can't be conducted one on one. But even if there are a group of 3 people, 2 students and one myself, we can have this Zoom session and 3 of us can discuss and interact, and that will give you a fresh perspective, a different set of ideas, a different set of opinions, which you can consider or remember while attempting the next mock or while attempting the next chapter wise test. So just a brief about Actuarial Academy. So why you should continue CP1 with the Actuarial Academy. There can be chances, like I would say 90 to 95% chances that all of you who might be seeing this video might be working full time somewhere, or even a part-time internship that's basically 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. You might be working throughout the week and would just have short weekend to spare. So usme you have to study this wide CP1 subject. So as Actual Academy, as me myself, my job or my role is to make your life easier. Like I just shown you that I will be sharing across a set of notes, study notes prepared by myself that covers every angle, every view, chapter wise, every set of questions from revision notes, past papers, basically a set of notes which is completely foolproof. So you don't have to make your own notes. You can simply refer to it, and even there will be recorded lectures. There will be a combination of live lectures as well. So in case if you have weekend plans, like everyone does, or sometimes you miss some lecture, you can watch recorded lectures as well. So there will be 3 types of trainings like mentioned out here. Offline, which we will decide depending on the batch size and everyone's preferred availability and everything. So if sometimes you want to conduct sessions on weekdays post your work, we can conduct offline sessions as well. Again, if you don't want offline, I'm completely okay with it. I'm completely okay with teaching online as well on Zoom, and all the sessions for sure would be completely recorded, so that won't be an issue, and you would get recordings for all these sessions. Free access to our workshops. We will be conducting workshops on your teaching Python, R, basics of Excel, which some of you might already know. You might have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years of experience, but still resume building, interview preparation, all this, you will get access to it. Again, placement and interview preparation. So we have contacts in various companies and various industries. Our students are already working with various insurance companies, general insurance companies, consultancy firms. Even I'm working at Deloitte. Some of my friends are working at EY. So if you want, even looking for a job change, not a placement because you're already working, if you're looking for a job change, we can help you. We can help you schedule your interview. We can help you with the interview as well, like what generally the company asks. And with us, you can ensure a proper job change as well. Like I mentioned, your theoretical concepts with practical knowledge. So CP1 for practical knowledge is very important. Practicality is important because questions can come from any angle. You need to be practical about it, and also you have to have your theoretical concepts strong to answer those. There'll be chapter-wise tests, mocks, and one-to-one conceptual tests. Chapter-wise tests and mocks will ensure that your writing speed is very fast. And whenever you see a new question, you are quickly able to generate 8 to 10 to 12 ideas in your mind and quickly able to type it down. So that would ensure exam level preparation. Again, doubt solving sessions with 24/7. Even if you have smaller doubts, you can anytime reach out to me on WhatsApp or any other means. You can even call me, post my work hours, so your doubt solving would be properly done. There'll be training sessions, there'll be doubt solvings to ensure the concept clarity remains throughout. Even when I look at you personally, I look at your mock test, I'll give you results. We will have a concise, summarized result. We can ensure that there are some, if you are weak in particular session, particular chapter, particular concept, we can focus on it again post, 15th March or even in middle. If you want one-on-one session with me, I'm available weekends, so we can have a short 15-minute call on phone or a 15-minute Zoom call as well, so that I can explain it to you in a better way and I can clear your doubts. So all these things will ensure that you are very well prepared for this very difficult CP1 and would make sure that your chances of passing are very much higher compared to the other candidates who are giving CP1 and starting off. So yeah, this is why you should be learning CP1 with us. And these are my contact details, and these are the contact details of Viraj Shah, the founder of the Actuarial Academy. We have been in business since the last 2 years. We have taught more than around 100 students till now, combined over the period of 2 years, and ensured placements of around more than 20 students as well. So yeah, this was a little bit introduction about why you should select Actual Academy as your tutor for this CP1 subject. This ends the introduction of CP1, and this ends my session as well here. If you have any doubts, please feel free to reach out to me on my contact number, and we can surely have a discussion on how we would be starting. The batches are starting from 15th of October. You can join in, you can meet me face to face personally as well. We can discuss an arrangement that too. You can have a call, and yeah, thanks for watching this wonderful session. Thanks for staying with me throughout this 1.5 hour period. And please do reach out to me in case you have any doubts. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you very much.